Right, okay, got it.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Village of Marvin Parks, Recreation, and Greenway Board meeting here on October 4th at 9:07 a.m. First item on the agenda is to determine if we do have a quorum, and I do determine that we have myself, Christina, Jen, and Jennifer, and Jennifer Martin as well. And we'll have to start distinguishing names.
All of the above. Other.
And we have our council liaison, Kimberly Vandenberg. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Any questions, changes, requests? Do I hear a motion on the table to adopt the agenda as it is written?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the previous minutes. And we've received those in our packet, and any questions or changes requested on the meeting minutes from July 28th, 2022 and September 13th, 2022. Do I hear a motion on the table to adopt the meeting minutes of July 28th, 2022 and September 13th, 2022 as they are written?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. And the next item on the agenda is public comment, and no public, and there's nobody online, so no comment. Next item, number B, is the public facility manager's update. I don't know if we have anything there.
Oh, yes, we do. I apologize for not getting those listed, but yes, I've got a few things. I'm going to pass the first one off to Christina. She's going to give you an update on the master plan bids we talked about.
Good morning. So we have entered a contract with McAdams. They are a landscape architect engineer firm based out of Fort Mill, I believe. They're going to be helping us with a parks master plan. You guys will be involved throughout that process throughout the next couple of months, pretty in depth. Basically what that means is they will look at all of our park facility space, Marvin Eford, this area that we have over here adjacent to Village Hall. We've recently received some money from the legislator for parks infrastructure. We were planning on putting it over here, but it may potentially be moved around. The pocket park at Publix and potentially the heritage development pocket park that's on the property at Meadowlark and Newtown Road intersection, around in that area. I think that's all the spaces we identified, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, they'll look at all those spaces. They'll conduct a few public input sessions, have y'all's input. We'll try to get on the HOA board, the president's meeting, to have some conversations with them as well to gather as much input as we can. We'll end up doing another survey for this as well. And basically what that'll do is bring back all the information to have a proposal where council and you all would consider a recommendation for a site-specific plan. So what that would mean is we're going to put together a Part F application, Parks and Recreation Trust Fund application in '23, so that we can receive some additional funding from the state to put in some park infrastructure. We will determine at the completion of the comprehensive plan, which is tentatively scheduled for November, December. It could potentially be January. That's where they'll have the report that basically says you could do this at this park, this at this park, this at this park. That's what we recommend. Which one do you guys like and which one do you want to go forward with? At that point, you all will look at those possibilities, make a determination as to what your recommendation would be. Council would consider that as well, and they would make a recommendation to move forward with one park. And that's where we would have the site-specific plan created to prepare that Part F application.
Did you say we were gonna have another survey done?
We are.
Is that survey already out? I thought I saw, or is that a
No,
different?
that's the
survey?
wayfinding and branding survey.
Okay.
I did not think they were gonna have time to do a survey.
It's not gonna be a statistically significant one. It's just gonna be a Survey Monkey one that we do that gathers as much public input as we possibly can throughout the process.
Okay.
It's not gonna be a very in-depth one. So it's gonna be one that we put together. They're gonna generate the questions. We're gonna push it out from our end.
You mentioned, I know the HOA president's meeting got pushed from last week because of the storm. Do you know if they rescheduled that? 'Cause
They did. It's next Thursday, I believe,
Okay.
the HOA president's meeting.
Okay, I'm not sure if they've communicated that out yet, so I'll check with Bob. Okay,
So in short, to summarize, because I know I had a lot of verbiage in that, basically between now and January, you'll have a plan presented before you that will basically look at the park space, give you recommendations. From that point, you will pick one park that you want to go with. And that's where we're going to put all of our eggs in that basket for the next year. We've got roughly $500,000 that we've got from the legislator that could potentially turn into $1 million if we get a Part F application. Council has really committed to getting that additional funding, so they've hired this company to do the grant writing for us. So we're very optimistic and realistic that we probably will get the Part F application completed and awarded hopefully in next year's budget. So that being said, potentially we're going to be putting at least $1 million into parks for the next 2 or 3 years. Any questions on that? Because I know that was a lot thrown at you.
is it specific to the parks or is there any component of greenways in that?
There could be, yes. He's going to look at all that, but this is mainly generated to parks, the park space.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that
It could
greenways
be
can't be
greenways
included.
within the
Yeah,
parks, for
yeah.
example.
or connectors.
Mhm.
Like, for example, we just did this connector trail. That could have been one that potentially would have connected. Any other questions? Got a question?
No, not necessarily. He was asking if the greenways would be included. I was also thinking about the landscaping right around here. If we're looking at a landscaping firm that's going to be doing proposals for everything else.
So what,
We've been sort of working on it in-house, but cost of scale, if they're already looking at stuff, do we throw the landscaping for this into?
that's a really good question, because I know one of the things you all have talked about, particularly, you've had some conversations with council members about the dry pond.
Mhm.
We've got some drainage issues at Village Hall. We completely understand that. And one of the things that we have witnessed over the last month or two is this pipe out here and how much water it's diverting onto our property. I've reached out to DOT. They're doing a hydraulic study on that pipe alone. Hopefully the intent would be they look at it and say, oh yeah, we messed up and we're gonna recreate the ditch to go around here and it's gonna be fine. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is they say we can't do anything. That's the natural lay of the water. That's the natural flow. And I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to figure it out yourself on your property. If either way, what we have kind of determined at staff level is that the 500,000 I mentioned was supposed to be for this Village Center Park, whatever we want to call it. I'm just naming it that for now.
Okay.
Village Center Park. We were going to put the money over there, but again, y'all, that could change. Y'all could make a different recommendation. Council could make a recommendation to go with Marvin Eford. I don't know. But whatever we do over here, we probably will do something in the next couple of years.
Mhm.
We wanted to put that portion of that money into figuring out this drainage system. So
I think
if
there's
we're-
a really good use for that, especially because you can integrate
the two,
whatever
yeah.
is going in there can just sort of bleed on over here and they can be integrated and seamless.
So I think where we are with that is we are going to continue our plant list
Okay.
and what we want there,
Mhm.
but we're not going to implement it until we get this plan,
Right.
which means at least next fall.
Okay.
So we're going to wait and see what they come back with. And if we end up doing this parcel,
Mhm.
we will go ahead and integrate all of that. If
Mhm.
we end up doing it somewhere else,
Mhm.
we will go ahead and do that once we have, because at that point, we'll have a plan, we'll have the hydraulic study back,
Yeah.
study back. And then, so it'll be next fall. But
Mhm.
we can continue to plan that, but either way, it will probably get implemented next fall,
Mhm.
either because we need to get it done or because we're doing this as a
As a
whole.
whole, right.
Yep.
What I will mention is, like I said, the 500,000 was earmarked over here, but when we start talking about turning 500 to $1 million, the general idea of what we think will go over there is like a open space farmer's market, something like that. And when we look at just that level of project, is that really going to cost $1 million? Probably not. So there's the option to kind of move some money around, or if you look at Marvin Eford and you like what is presented for that plan more than this,
Mhm.
then maybe we do the Part F application over here and we do a little bit less over here. Either way, we'll probably still do a little bit of both. In the funding that we received from the American Relief Fund, I can't remember the exact state relief funds for local governments, COVID money, the COVID money that we received, Council was very diligent to earmark $300,000 for parks at Marvin Eford, basically a new playground, kind of either retrofitting what's existing there or just taking it all up and putting a new one down. That being said, we've got that 300,000 just hanging out over there. We've also got this 500,000 that's coming. And then we've also got a potential for another 500,000. So over $1 million we'll be putting back into the park system in the next couple of years.
That's fantastic.
So y'all have a lot of work to do.
How exciting.
Thank you. All right, moving on to, we've got 2 events coming up the rest of the year, and Jill is going to give you a quick update on the trick or treat event.
All right, so trick or treat in the park. Originally, the thought or idea was to do a trunk or treat due to just so many things that we're doing at once and limited staff to do this stuff. It's becoming a trick or treat in the park instead of a trunk or treat. It's a little bit harder to get people to commit to a trunk. It's just a little bit more work on their part. So we thought we'll make it a trick or treat instead. So please use the correct terminology when you're talking about it, people. It's trick or treat, not trunk or treat. We have a flyer. It's already in the community board outside. It's going out in the newsletter, I believe, this weekend or this Friday, right? Yeah. Okay. I've started promoting it on social media, trying to get local area businesses to have a 10 by 10 tent, table, chairs. They'll be the ones that, while promoting their businesses, will also be handing out candy to our trick-or-treaters. I'd have to go back through my notes to remember exactly how many we were hoping to sign up, but I know it's at least 20, might be more. We also reserved a bounce house for that evening. I'm in the process of ordering some easy little Halloween crafts from Oriental Trading, just something for the kids to do. We also have a photographer who has agreed to come and take photos for free of our guests and residents who come to the event. So we're in the process of figuring out where to set her up, get some props, some hay bales, some pumpkins, something cute. But people will be able to have a picture taken and then go to the website and download it later. So just some fun, simple stuff to make a cute little event. It's going to be about 2 hours of trick-or-treating and stuff. And then we're partnering with Union County Parks and Rec to show Hocus Pocus after the sun goes down. So we're going to be utilizing, I believe, their equipment and their license to show that movie. So we'll have popcorn and all the fun stuff that we do for movie night usually.
Puppies?
Okay, puppies.
I think they're on a fall break that week.
I thought we were gonna have puppies
There
at
has to be
every park
puppies at
event.
every thing.
I mean, listen, I can make a phone call and see
I
if
can
I
bring
can
my
get you some
dogs.
puppies.
I mean,
other puppy parties, other puppy.
We'll ask about the puppies.
There
Okay.
are a lot of
All right.
puppy groups.
I'll try to get you
you're
some
welcome,
puppies.
everyone.
Yes. So I do have a question. Forgive my ignorance. What is the difference between a trunk or treat and a
So
trick or
a
treat?
trunk or treat is when you put your car and you have to decorate your entire car in some type of Halloween theme. And you keep your trunk open and the kids go around and visit all the trunks and you're usually dressed up too and you're handing out candy.
Okay.
So for some reason, that seems to be a little bit more overwhelming for people than
Then to bring a 10 by
just
10
putting a
tent.
pop-up tent up and throw some Halloween decor on your table and hand out some promotional items. So if we had more
Okay.
time and more staff, we might have been able to pull off a trunk or treat, but I just don't. So-
Okay.
So when we say a tent, are we expecting them to set tents up outside and doing something in the barn or?
Yeah, so the barn will probably be where we do crafts. We'll have some refreshments, some tables for the kids to sit and do the craft. But yes, the trick or treating will happen on the field outside. And that's where the bounce house will be as well.
What do you need from us?
My biggest concern right now is signing up businesses to actually be trick or treat stations. I mean, it's not a huge deal if we don't get as many as we hope, as long as kids get candy and they can get out of the house for a little bit and they can see a movie, it'll be fine. But I really would like to knock it out of the park because I'm just an overachiever. So if you're talking about this with area businesses, you have business friends that want to just put up a tent, there is a vendor forum that I'm going to be promoting all over the internet. We already had 3 businesses sign up, so that was kind of promising. I mean, I only did 1 post and I got 3 people signed up. So
Do you have a booth fee for it?
there is a booth fee. It's a $50 fee. And they're expected to be set up and ready to go by 5, basically, be at their booths between 5:30 and 7:30-ish and pass out candy. We will have a bunch of candy also just to supplement, but they're being asked to bring candy and they can pass it out along with their tchotchkes and their promotional items to our parents as the kids are getting candy.
I
So,
assume you'll take nonprofits?
yeah,
Okay. we'll have
like
to
if,
Probably.
or if Marsh would like to have a little table, I mean.
That's
anything.
one of them, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would take anybody.
Yep. I'm already making it all work. Yeah, just so thank you. Yeah. So probably we may be able to get Wild Ones, Marsh, and the Master Gardeners.
Well, maybe I'll be able to work out a discount on that vendor fee for these nonprofits. I'll have to talk to the boss about that, but maybe we can make that happen. October 28th, Friday. Mhm. Did I forget anything?
No. Banners will go up this week. We did order banners
They
as
look so
well.
good.
Jill did a tremendous job with the colors and just making everything vibrant and fun. Not just white and black or black and white, but grabbing attention.
How many banners did we get?
We have 3 right now,
And where are we going to place them?
Village Hall and the park.
Your front yard. Just kidding.
I mean, people from the other side of the village, they say that they don't know about things. Can we put one over there?
Define the other side
Like
because,
the Bonds
The
Grove side?
Bell Grove area.
yes.
I would recommend Crane and Waxhaw Marvin by the high school.
Right, at the
like
high
that
school
fence
corner.
there.
Can we
That
put
high
it on the
school
fence
corner.
at the high school, like all the other banners?
Yeah, that high school corner where they put, whenever they have the 5K races.
Or Cedar Hill might be willing to let you hang it on their fence.
I'm just trying to think
it on
of,
their fence.
I mean, I would like for people to feel included. So be inclusive, not exclusive. And
Yeah, as someone who used to live over
yes,
in one of those developments,
yeah.
you never drive past because you
Over here,
you
right.
go Bonds Grove.
That's why-
You never ever.
And if we
take me
need to buy another, I don't know if we could
3-pack?
get another banner, but if we could, that would be,
We can order more if we need to, right?
I would just,
Yeah, I
He
mean,
turns them
our-
around within a day, so
yeah,
it's
our guy
fast.
can turn them
Easy
around in
peasy.
24 hours.
I would
less
say
than-
just go ahead and get another, do your normal, like here, the park, and then at least get one for somewhere over Bonds Grove, Waxhaw Marvin, that vicinity. And what time
Two-
would you like us
two more.
there on Friday, the 28th?
4 p.m.
You need to be there by noon.
Perfect.
I'm putting
Dressed
you in
up?
charge.
Oh, in order to get our
Oh,
parking
yes.
space.
Girl, I don't dress up.
I was gonna be Olivia Newton-John at the finale of Grace One, but that's okay.
I can't, I'm not good at that. I'll wear a witch's hat.
I don't know what time to have you there, but we'll tell you as we get
5?
closer to. I mean,
No,
Is that too early?
4:30. It starts at 5.
Oh, I thought at 5:30 it started.
it starts at 5.
Yeah.
Oh, 5? Oh, okay, 4:30. Okay,
Yep.
I'll be there with bells on.
Are you gonna stay to the end of the movie?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Were you asking me to email Jim about banners?
I'm emailing him right now.
Oh, okay. Were you asking me
2 more?
something?
1 or 2?
How many do you have?
3.
You have 3 currently?
They're kind of pricey.
I'll just go ahead and
Here-
get 2.
The park, where's the third one going?
Well, I usually do 2 at the park because of the visibility. Do it like in a V shape.
Okay, yeah, just get one more.
Just one more?
We have 2 at the park, 1 here, and then 1. I mean, you could get 2 more.
You said you wanted one by the school and then you wanted one over by,
Well, that's the school and is
Yeah,
basically
that's
Bonds
kind of
Grove and
that
Wax
area.
oh, it's just the same there, okay.
It's basically the same spot. I mean, you could always get another one and, oh, he can't do 2-sided banners? I guess that'd be hard, wouldn't it?
We can.
I don't know that we've ever asked that.
That would solve your
We can.
problem of having 2 at the park.
Yeah.
It depends on the.
Well, those have probably already been ordered. But I was just thinking if we can get a 2-sided banner, we could put one right in front of Andy's house on Waxhaw Marvin. You know, I'm always,
Yeah, I always think.
he's not here, so I'm gonna volunteer him for that kind of stuff, right? I don't know. It's just a thought, but if he can't, then just get one more for over like school, Bonds Grove, Waxhaw Marvin.
Yeah, because I think if you get one at that corner there,
Mhm.
you're getting all the people that are bringing younger kids to Sandy Ridge for the most part.
Yeah.
One way or another.
So if I start to get really desperate, I will just start knocking on doors of area businesses with the flyer and just asking them to sign up. So
Perfect.
We'll
Take
just-
that flyer and take the Marvin Day flyer. Twofer.
well, yeah, I'm in a tree lighting mode next. So you got to slow down,
Just one
Queen.
thing at a time.
One thing at a time. No, I don't think so. You didn't want me an update on that too, did you? Not today?
I was going to do that one.
Okay, perfect. I'm out.
Thank you.
Just as a follow-up to the 2 previous items, so McAdams will be at the trick or treat event to show pictures and kind of give a little bit of an update to the public and have conversations, get input. So they're planning on being there and having a presence. And
I should have asked Jill, but have you guys contacted the library with the new library going in? They like to promote that anytime they can.
yes, they are going to, I gave them our events calendar. I
Okay,
think
good,
they're going to be
good.
at both of the events that's left on the calendar. I have to double check, but yeah, I've already reached out to them.
Good.
And then, as Jill mentioned, we have started planning for the tree lighting event. She's got a flyer that's almost done. Again, kind of revamped, nice and colorful, vibrant. Santa Claus is reserved for parade times, starting from here at 2:30 and being at the park at 4.
Remind me the date.
Saturday, December 10th.
I did commit at the last meeting to reaching out to the choir. I sent an email, just haven't heard back confirmation yet.
Okay.
Have you reminded Mayor Polino
About
that
band.
date?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
Yes, make sure you get that on his calendar.
I think we're gonna ask him to check about the band, because he has contacts in the band. Because we usually have the band play there.
he does.
I have the dog kissing booth reserved. Amy Ferguson with Canines Unleashed. And she has the connection to dog people as well. So her crew will probably be there with some puppies.
Are you gonna do the infamous ice sculpture?
No. We are
I
going
will
to,
fake one for you.
yes, we are going to seek alternate photo opportunities this year while saving money.
75 degrees last year, right? Whatever. It was melting.
Um,
It looked like my job. No.
I'm trying to think what else. Sorry, I forgot my list. I forgot we were doing
Ice sculptures. And
tree lighting event. But yep, Saturday
What time does it start?
at the park is 4.
4 to 6.
The parade starts at 2:30.
And it's a reverse parade for those who don't know. Like we drive Santa around to the people, for the people.
As
And-
per.
and-
side.
Very different.
And it goes by the people.
Right.
This is pre-run. It's pre-run.
I'll get you some more details on that as we start to.
And we're gonna connect the friendship tree with that. That's when people are gonna bring their, no, we're not doing that anymore? Okay.
No, because I think we were asking for stuff to be in a couple of days earlier.
Okay.
If the dates aren't gonna line up.
Okay.
and That, the day of the tree lighting is actually their drop dead date. They need stuff back. So
Okay.
we're setting the deadline for that,
Okay.
end of November.
Oh, good.
Austin's going to give you an update on that here in just a second. Just 2 more quick updates on trails. The Preserve Internal Trail is finished as of last week. It's really neat. It has some very cool, unique features. It's going to be challenging for staff to maintain it. It's narrow in spots, and our current vehicles won't be able to get to all the areas for maintenance. But it's almost a mile long. It's a huge asset to the village. I walked it from here one morning, going out the connector, down the existing, what we call Town Hall Trail, and then connecting to the Preserve Internal and coming back, and it was 1.7 miles. So nice little workout.
Have we updated our map now that it's finished?
I just have to hit a turn on, open on switch.
Well, let's do that. Perfect.
We did update the map to show this as parking, with the issues at the school and them not wanting. So right now, this is our only parking lot that we're advertising. But people are utilizing it. I've seen people come out here and walking. There's a couple that comes from Sun City to ride their bikes on our trails. So,
And what do you call this trail?
which one?
The new one that you just,
The Preserve Internal Trail.
okay.
So the pit.
It's not the pits though, it's nice.
And it has two potential future connectors. Just as a reminder, or if you didn't know, we built the Ennisbrook Connector Bridge for a future connector there. And then I've started discussions with Marvin Creek about connecting to their sidewalk system with a connector there. And then
When you say we built a little bridge there for a future connector, I know that in the past, Chimneys Trail, there were issues with what type of bridge and what did you have to span there? I haven't seen that one.
it spans the creek and it has rails and I think it's about 4 foot wide. It has rails.
I'm just wondering if, one of the things that we always had a lot of questions was with the Chimneys Trail was the cost.
Mhm.
Is it something that's comparable to that, to where we'd better understand the cost now from that?
Like, you want to know what it cost us to build that bridge? Because those
Yeah,
bridges, I think those were different. They were like smaller and lower.
Well, some of them were, but one of them was more substantial, the one kind of in the back corner, and that's why we kind of never connected over. I mean, even those other ones were small and, there were quite,
It wasn't that much. I was very surprised when they came back with the price on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
That's why I'd just be interested to
Very
understand
reasonable.
what the
Now,
cost of that.
granted, he was doing a lot of trail work, so he probably was able to
Yeah.
give us,
A good price, yeah.
Yeah, he tied it into this whole project, and
Yeah.
then he did it in conjunction with this little connector piece. But for that trail spur and the bridge, it was under 4.
Yeah.
But the bridge is already done.
Yeah, he built. Yeah,
The bridge is done. The bridge is connected to reserve HOA
Mhm.
property, and we're
Right.
just trying to secure
Innisbrook's.
the
It's-
Innisbrook easement.
it's
Right.
built, but it's closed off because it
Right,
doesn't
because
really
you can't go on to Innisbrook.
go into anywhere yet.
Okay, it's a bridge to nowhere.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it'll help us to get a better idea of what a trail bridge costs.
It
depending
was
on what it
significantly
was.
less than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think off the top of our head, the numbers we were throwing out when we were looking at it before was like $50,000 or $60,000.
That's a lot.
That-
No, yeah, this was under 4
Wow,
for
okay.
the way. I mean, but we're not talking. I think over there, weren't we talking about like
It-
supporting horses and
No,
spanning?
no, but I think it might have just been a little more substantial creek.
Yeah.
Tar kiln over there.
Yeah.
Than, okay.
And then the other update was that our trail builder should be starting on the Pocket Park either today or tomorrow. So the Pocket Park has actually grown in pretty nicely. The guys have been out there and cleaned it up a couple times, and then there's been a little bit of natural growth, but the front area, the natural Bermuda, has come in really well, which I think will provide some nice spots for picnic tables in the future if we still want to go that route. But we've got a nice, I'll say, 400-ish linear feet of trail, just kind of making like a horseshoe through there. And Jones Homes was nice enough to donate us a load of dirt from their Joe Carr property to help the trail builder kind of smooth in some spots. So a nice little partnership there, working in our favor. So
Did, Derek, for the Pocket Park, do you know, and we can have this conversation after, I just know you mentioned it. Did they address that little drop from the sidewalk from Weddington Chase up into the trail? Like, is it smooth?
yes, he will. That whole existing trail that the developer put in.
Yeah.
He's going to redo that
Okay.
more to our standards.
Is that, you're talking about part of the preserve?
The
No, different.
Pocket
Okay.
Park.
Yeah, Pocket Park.
Was that Weddington Chase?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have that sidewalk that kind of goes into their neighborhood. There was like a pretty substantial drop off
Yeah.
into the trail portion. So yeah, Blue Ridge Trail Works, they're going to kind of rework that whole existing gravel.
Yep.
With more of the smaller fines that
Yeah.
fit our standards and make that transition smoother.
Okay.
So. Oh, and kudos to Silvio and Chuck for the community bulletin board. If you haven't seen it, please take a look. They built that by
It looks
hand.
awesome.
Where was it?
Right out
It's
front.
right out front.
It
Yeah.
looks
It
amazing.
blends in with the building. But no, they built that by hand to Austin specs. Don't pray too much. All right, I'm done. Thanks.
Okay, moving on to item C, unfinished business. Austin, I think you'll talk about the update on Friendship Tree.
Okay, so it's really fast. Me and Bob have been working on this, and we've gotten most of the details figured out. We're gonna have the tree set up the last week of October. Council will be helping decorate after their work session. Advertisements are currently being scheduled. Bob's having banners made. We'll have the gift tags by November 1st. Gifts will be due back from anyone participating by November 30th. That still gives us a few days for us to get the gifts to Union County by their deadline of December 10th. It says on here we were doing 20 individuals, but we're doing 20 families actually. So we're We're going to start with tags for 20 families. We are expecting that we're going to blow through those very fast, so we will be able to get more. Residents who are participating will get an instruction list, just to kind of specify how they need to prepare their gifts, unwrapped, bagged by family, with a tag noting the family. We're going to have a way for people to do monetary donations for people who are just a little too busy to go shopping. And the way we're going to direct people to sign up is we're going to kind of funnel people through email towards me first. We'll take walk-ins as they come, but we want to kind of we want to keep a steady flow of traffic out of the office, just to make sure we're not taking too much time from staff. But they'll be directed online. They email me. We'll get them registered, and we'll set up a time for them to pick up their tags. And we're going to be using the phrase "be a friend to those less fortunate" this holiday season. That's the abbreviated version.
What are we decorating the tree with?
We are ordering decorations.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And you guys can come too and help if you want.
You
That
guys,
Thursday.
This is
Throwing
where
it out there.
See, Bob,
Christina. Yeah, pretty
Is it a
much.
day meeting or a night meeting?
It's a day meeting.
Work session.
Our meeting's at 9, so I would say, we'll be done by like 3.
Yeah, well, I would hope we're done by then. And since Bob's not here, this is a good chance to sign him up.
I'm gonna sign Bob up. I'm volunteering Bob to help decorate.
There you go.
Somebody let Bob know we volunteered him, or I did.
How are you promoting this the ways you promote everything else? I mean, like through the newsletter and the social media and all that stuff.
Newsletter, social media, and there'll be banners up.
Okay. I just know my neighborhood seems to miss those things, so I will.
I
send
would
it to
encourage them to sign up for
I
the
know.
list
Yeah,
and check their email.
we have a new HOA, so there's, well, there's just new.
We're also going to promote this at the HOA meeting coming up, so hopefully a representative from Meadowlark will be there.
I'll try to get that to happen.
Okay, next item D, new business number 1, is discussion of Gordon's pocket park design.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, so council had wanted us, this group, to look at doing a more manicured, sorry, Christina, a more manicured park over there and get some plants and some plantings and some lists going. But because we've got the master plan going on and they are going to include the pocket park, we're going to put that on hold. We're going to let them come back to us, see what they can do. We know we need water there. We've reached out to Weddington Chase because their well is right there. So we reached out to them to see if we could possibly do, a little share. Yeah, they said no. So we're gonna have to get a water source. So we're gonna have to do a well over there. So we're working on getting some quotes for that. We know about what it's gonna cost, but otherwise it doesn't matter what we plant, it's gonna die. So right?
It can be water. It's just, you can get a surface water, and if you've got more native type plants, the first year is your more tricky thing, and then after that, they mostly take care of themselves. But no, it would be better to have water.
Yeah. So we're not going to do the well until we know what the plan is over there. So we wanted to start moving forward with that, but because we're going to wait, we feel like it's, more prudent to wait. Let's get the full master plan for what we can do. So we're going to wait. But I kind of wanted to update you guys on where we were. We're working on a water source. We're working on getting a plan. And then once we get all that information back, because it will be nice with the master plan, they are going to give us ideas, and we may not utilize that in the money portion of it, but we might be able to, we'll be able to utilize like whatever their plan is, and we can do it ourselves. So that's
I
it.
just put a word in early on for the master plan. I should have said it when she was in here, that because we are a certified wildlife habitat community, whatever they call it, that should be sort of at top of their mind when they're thinking about what they want to do. Does that
Can we
make
make
sense?
sure that they know that?
Because they ought to know what that means. And if they don't, I'm happy to tell them, since
Yeah.
I don't know the title. Surely I can figure out how to explain it.
Just let,
Figure out how to explain that, and just whenever our input meeting comes up
Okay.
with them, make sure to include.
Well, I didn't know how early on in that process that was. I mean,
Yeah, when,
For all I
when
knew,
do
they
we
were
have our
done by
first
the time
meeting
we
with
saw them.
them?
Oh, no, you'll have plenty of chances to mention
So
stuff.
I just
like
don't
that.
want them going off on some, path of, and then at least two of us, me and Bob, go, yeah, no.
Are they, yeah, that was, they're not gonna start doing anything until they've talked to us.
Right. I mean, they're not going to come back with baseball fields and football, and stadium lights and that stuff, right? They're going to take who we are and our visions and our lifestyles, whatever,
Yeah.
and package that,
I was just making sure they got the small print that says that.
And
about
if they're gonna be at the trick or treat, that'll be a good opportunity if you're gonna be there.
Mhm.
Yep. Thank you, John. I'm finished.
Okay. Next item, D, under D number 2 is Village Hall landscape update.
Which is Kim again.
Yeah.
I apologize. Sorry, I didn't realize this was me too.
Well, can you, I mean,
I don't know what this is.
yeah,
You asked me to put it on there.
I'll put it on there.
Oh.
Update on the
Oh, maybe
landscape plan
Hunter
here.
Oh, yeah, we want you guys to take it. Okay, so the landscape plan's on here. This is what we currently have. I feel like nobody is particularly happy with right around the building. It's not fabulous and a lot of stuff has died.
Mhm.
So can you guys put together a plan for right around the building?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, so my understanding, because we talked about this just a little bit
Yeah, I
ago,
know, sorry.
is that
Forgot.
the macadam,
I submitted you.
Group.
I was gonna say, well,
Master plan?
Yeah, the master, thank you.
Yep.
Those
Yep.
are the words that we're missing. The master plan is going to include the drainage issue,
Not
but
this.
not any of this, because this is
Correct.
already
Yeah.
installed.
And we already have
We just need
water.
to change the
We
plant
just need
plan.
to change the plants out.
Okay.
To make it, I mean, because, what's in the front, lilies? Like.
Yeah, the
I-
daylilies are
I-
never gonna
I
look good.
know, I like daylilies, but they don't. They look like weeds
They, no,
and.
they look good about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
So-
like bananas and avocados.
So we
they're like this.
need, just around the building, within the sidewalks, we need a new
A new plant
plan.
pattern, yeah.
Yes.
do you know why things have died?
Yes, because they did not put soil down. They just.
So it's in mud.
It's in mud and
Or-
construction dirt and,
So lantana was your only option.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it'll grow in
it's
the.
holding so much moisture that all the
Yes.
azaleas died because
I
they're
can
Yeah.
just.
And
root
so
rot.
it's either too dry or too wet.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's like where the irrigation is and there was a planting hole,
Yeah.
it's sitting in a bowl
Water.
of water.
Yeah.
And then everything else is
It's
hard
dry,
packed, so-
correct, yes. So that's the reason that everything has died.
Just
It's
making
not
sure.
water,
So the soil, we need
the soil,
good
we need, we're gonna have to take,
Soil.
we're gonna have to take off, like, yes, like a layer or two or three, whatever. And then redo. So if this group can work on that,
Mhm.
that would be fantastic.
And what's your time frame for implementation?
Well, I mean, I'd like to say now, but I mean.
Okay,
we
no,
can
now is a
plan.
good time.
I know,
Well,
but-
fall, yeah.
But
Now
Do
is a
you-
great time to plant, but
Yeah.
it's no longer a good time to buy.
because
for planting.
everything's,
sold.
can you plant in the spring?
Yes.
have
The
water.
spring
We
is
have
a
water.
fantastic time.
We have water.
And in fact, I mean, we have no rain in our forecast for the next 2 weeks
Yeah.
at least, so.
So I
This
would,
is looking like a
so I
good
would
fall.
say in the next, like, I would say by like December, let's have a plan.
Mhm.
And then we can start pulling stuff out and prepping the ground and then we can
And pre-ordering
plant
plants, we might be.
and we can
get
plant
planted.
in the spring.
Yep.
That sound like a plan?
Sounds like a
Derek's furrowing his brow.
Hmm.
Are you good with that?
Yes, I was just gonna say Growers Outlet in Pineville does have a lot of plants.
We still have a lot of plants.
Yep, and
Yes, but you have to.
From the retail side, it's getting pretty slim, but commercial growers.
yeah, and then I was just gonna suggest, like, do one person want to kind of spearhead this so that 4 people aren't working on 4 different plans?
I'll spearhead it.
Yeah, I'm not working on a plan. There are a couple other, Ross Perennials is another place that
Well,
probably has.
and I mean,
Yes, that's true. They
you've
have
got the
some.
plan here, so you literally know like.
Oh, we totally know the planting
What-
beds and the size, and I have a
Yes.
copy of the site plan for
Perfect, and it's
this
in,
building.
yes,
And it's in here,
it's in
yes.
here, so
It's in there.
it's in there.
So yeah, so we just need to take those contours and just,
Yeah, I mean,
create a plant
I
list.
would say let's don't rush it.
Mhm.
And let's like plan for the spring and we'll have
Mhm.
some nice plants for the spring and we can prep the ground
yeah, we can spend winter.
properly.
yeah, doing
Okay.
the actual work.
I'm gonna jump in here because we had a technical difficulty, and so we're gonna wrap in the storm, the landscaping and stuff for like the stream, the dry stream for the drainage. So I talked to Keith about the trees. I guess one, you heard Christina talk about the drainage pipe and us doing the NC DOT doing a hydro analysis on that to see if there's any type of potential changes, alterations that can be done to that pipe that will deflect the stormwater on this property. I also talked to Keith from Union County about the trees. I know there was a bunch of questions on, hey, are we keeping the trees? Are we not? Should we? Whatever. Really, it's up to your guys' discretion. It is basically what Keith said is that they can be removed. Most likely they should be removed just because unless I don't know what the long term of who's going to be doing this, if we're going to contract this out for a landscaper or somebody to do this, or if it's going to be in-house. But basically, if it's done in-house or however the contracts are, there's going to be a lot of tree protection that's going to be needed per se during that construction of kind of digging out and trenching out, that it may just be worth getting rid of. They're younger trees. Keith said that that's not, it's nothing to really hold on to. Obviously, we would replant, but based off of design, it's really up to how we want to proceed. I mean, like it can go either way.
Did he have some ideas for what to replant? What types?
I did talk to him about that. Correct me, were you getting a planning list or
She's been working on.
she's been working?
Mhm.
Whenever you're ready, you can get that to me and we can sit down with him, either in a meeting or before, so he can look at that, be like, okay, this is great, or maybe be able to provide additional recommendations.
And the plan is not to implement this till next fall, correct? Once we have the master plan back.
It's whatever you guys want.
Yeah, I mean, that's right.
We discussed it next fall.
Yeah, okay.
It
We
just-
can keep moving forward with the plan.
Well, okay, so we're waiting on the hydro analysis.
Which there's no
So-
telling how long that'll take.
With regard to the hardscape part of this and the design of that, we kind of need to wait until that information is back. Because if DOT is gonna reroute all that water,
We're
then
not gonna
we
have to do as
we have a
much.
much smaller task.
Right.
If they say, that's your problem, then
Okay.
whatever that hydro analysis is, we may need to get something like McAdam to make sure that whatever we put in.
Goes into the whole plan.
Because they have the
Well-
engineers, I'm not an engineer, like,
Okay.
We would also.
I can make something really aesthetically pretty that will handle.
Yeah.
Kind of an ordinary event, but if we're talking about that constantly, then maybe an engineer needs to sort of say, hey, this is adequate drainage and this is how we need to pipe it and whatever.
Okay.
And that's exactly, well.
Who's following up with DOT?
Christina and I both. I mean, I mentioned it to her and she's the one that reached out to him.
Okay.
So
Let's just keep following up.
I'll
with them
follow,
and
I'll stay on Christina.
See when that's on their schedule.
So
Um,
the real, so the design can stay largely the same as what we looked at before and what
Yeah.
I had sort of sketched out, which is, a dry stream bed-ish kind of thing and some kind of drainage, but how massive that is and exactly. the
It's gonna depend on
contours will
if
depend
they-
on that.
okay. All right.
So I
Makes
say we
sense.
just sort of table the plan until we get that information
Okay.
back.
I'm good with that.
But in conjunction with talking about plants for around the building here, we want those to be coherent
Mhm.
with what gets installed there.
Good.
So we can,
Perfect. So you
create
already
a
sort of
larger
know what's
list.
gonna go here because you've already sort of made that list.
yeah, we're starting to talk about plant material. The only thing was how many trees are we removing, if any, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, because then that affects, if we were leaving 6 of the trees, then the amount you're filling back in, you're either gonna want understory trees or smaller stuff. If we're taking them all out, then maybe we're talking about larger pines, and some evergreen stuff, or like, you know, magnolia for some evergreen, but these are much larger trees, take up more space. So if you're taking out all, then you kind of have a blank slate to say, oh, well, we could put a big one here and bigger
All
there.
right, so let's put a pin in it until we get that,
So we can come up with a general list, get Keith's
Hydro-
opinion on what to keep
whatever it's called.
and what to go.
Yeah.
And then pick from that menu when we find out how much space we need.
So you're gonna send your list.
I will develop a list. I will notate
Okay.
like, this is for around the building, this is proposed for the stream bed, and then get everybody's opinion on it, and then get Keith's opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to be involved in.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
especially talking with Keith and everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. I'm finished.
Yeah, the
Sure
only,
you are, sure you are.
Maybe. Nope, this next one's not me. You good, Hunter?
yeah, I mean, I just wanted to cover that, so I'll stay on top of the hydro analysis and present back to you guys when ready.
All right, the next, probably in preparation for Halloween, discuss and consider recommendation of bat extraction plan at Marvin Eford Park.
All right, so
You got bats in your belfry, Derek?
yes, we have bats. It was suggested that I just bring this to you guys for input, feedback. We do have bats at the park. I think everybody's known that for years. It seems like they're more prevalent right now. I don't know if it's seasonal or what, or they just love the barn. But they are gathering under the eaves and, you know, clustering, dropping their droppings on the edge. And a lot of this came to a head where a lady and her daughter had an interaction with one on the ground. So when I first discovered them a couple weeks ago, I had a pest company, our pest company, called their wildlife guy, and he put together a remediation plan, bat removal and exclusion services. I think I could put that in your packets, but it's $8,600, and really it patches over areas of the barn that they could
Like
kind of go in.
screening?
Yeah, screening. When we had the issue last week with the resident or the park patron and the young lady who had the bat encounter, we did talk with our attorney. He says that, you know, we're fine, that there's no liability there, but some signage could help us. We put up some temporary signs. We could get some more permanent signs. We did speak with North Carolina Wildlife, and they kind of said the same thing, you know, very, very, very minor chance of anything ever happening, and any, you know, and one of, if anything did happen, of that bat, you know, having any sort of diseases to be concerned about, that it's kind of like other wildlife that we encounter there, you know, raccoons, possums, snakes, whatever, just observe, but observe at a distance and safely. So I just kind of wanted to get your feedback to say, is this something you would want to recommend to council? Or do you want to go with just some wildlife friendly signage?
Do we know, are they coming in up at the cupola, or are they coming in?
They're not
through the
going in
doors?
the barn. They're finding spots on the outside of the barn.
Oh.
I wonder though if they would go in once it gets colder. I don't know bats that well,
I
unfortunately.
don't either.
If they have a
Supposed to-
way in, they will.
Yeah, you
'cause
would
if I
think.
leave my garage door open, they'll come in.
Yeah, it's just too
Come
warm
around.
right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Some of them got in the tracks of the barn doors.
Yeah.
One night I went to open the barn door and I was like, what in the world? Why is this thing not opening? I thought the wheel had broken, and I looked up and I see furry blood.
Yeah.
So I squished one trying to get the barn door open, and I discovered, oh, that's where they went in and kind of nested that night.
Survival of the fittest
Well,
there.
So,
The other thing that you might be able to do is you can actually buy a bat house.
we have two.
Oh, yeah.
The problem, and at least this is what our bat discussions have told us at Marsh, is that they take years to adapt to a house. They find a place they like, the barn, and that's where they want to be. And you can put all the houses in the world and they'll just like, yeah, I don't like that one.
Mhm.
They're kind of picky. So my question is, what are they going to do once they extract the bats? What are they going to do with them? That's what they're doing with them?
What did you say?
She says they're going to kill them.
Uh,
I mean, no, I think I would like
Let
to,
me see what this.
he doesn't say.
If I'm not correct, North Carolina law mandates that any animal that's extracted is killed. Instead, I work with animal rescue and it's a very sad event. That's why it's very difficult to work with pest control companies.
Yeah.
Because if you call them, they're going to kill, just like if they extract a raccoon from your house and she has babies, they kill the mom. Sometimes some of the nice exterminators will take the babies to a rehab or otherwise they're all euthanized. So, yeah, I'm very interested to know what's going to happen to the bats because
They're going to kill the bats.
I know, that's my concern.
That is like the opposite of what.
Well, I mean,
we
aren't
first
bats good
discussed.
for like bugs?
They're
More
pollinators.
mosquitoes than
and
any.
tremendous insect control. I mean,
Right?
you can
Like-
get no better insect.
Well,
Bats are phenomenal, and the fact that we have them around is excellent.
Yes.
Like, we want them there. The only problem is that we don't want them getting in the
There.
tracks.
We don't want them
We
there.
don't want them in the barn, and so I would be in favor of anything that
Can we
ultimately helps
seal-
prevent them from getting in. So any of the sealing stuff.
That's, yeah.
I'm in
Derek, are
favor
they
of.
physically inside the barn or are they just on the
No, he
eaves
said just on the
outside?
Not right now. They're not inside the barn.
But we were postulating that they would
Get
get
in
in
there.
eventually and like it, especially as it gets colder. So we definitely want to seal the barn and keep the bats from getting in. But as far as everything outside of the curtilage of the barn, the bats get to do what the bats get to do. They
I
can eat the
agree.
mosquitoes.
To me, it's an educational opportunity, to your point about some wildlife-friendly signs. This is
Yes.
what it's like to be outside. There are bugs and bats and snakes and
And deer poop.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
And bird poop and
And
turtle poop. And
touch it
every
at your own
Cemetery.
risk.
Yeah.
No more so than all that other junk that's in your yard, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Exactly.
Yeah, and I guess I'm wondering too, you mentioned, patching up and making it harder for them. If we're talking about the outside, if you start doing that to the outside, it makes it even more intimidated to get inside or something too. And it might be something that we just, like you said, do through signage and, figuring out a way to get along with them because $8,000 seems like quite a
well,
bit
to
too.
kill them, yeah.
I say I'm
$8,000 to kill
definitely,
them.
I'm definitely not in favor of the extraction, and particularly if any of them get killed. I would prefer a deterrent effect that kind of gets them to move along. If there's anything that can be done that says, like when you've got mud swallows or something, you put things in the eaves to make it, not a place that they want to roost. So anything that would deter them from using the barn, because guano is not a good thing for human interaction. Bat guano is extremely problematic when
is
it's
that?
inhaled. Their poop.
But it's really nice when it goes
It's
in.
It's fantastic fertilizer, so we could get it on the cottage. If we could just get them to use the cottage
That's
garden
what I was just
as
thinking.
a
Why
litter
can't you
box,
move to the garden?
we would be really, really good. But so bat guano is very bad, especially if any of it is particulate and inhaled. But other than that, I mean, I'm totally in favor of letting the bats be.
Can we scare them off?
Uh,
And then like put something up there that make like,
An owl.
God
Like
forbid,
owls, a couple
and
owls.
forgive me, but like when we had woodpeckers, we put up snakes because they don't like woodpecker. I mean, they don't
Like
like,
little rubber snakes.
yes, and they didn't come back. And I know I'm ridiculous, but is there anything that like we can do that like makes the bats?
I thought there might be some sort of
That's what I'm saying with
electronic
a deterrent.
way to
Yeah,
do it.
you would
I
think.
believe there might be some electronic
That
deterrents
we would
for
not hear,
bats.
but they would, and it would annoy them.
So
that-
do they fly away during the day? Are they flying
Usually-
away at
No, they
night?
sleep during.
Yeah, it's mostly
yeah,
at
they're
night. It's
nocturnal, of course they
dusk is
are.
when you usually see them.
You'll see them either
Yeah,
come
just-
in or come out right around 6:30, 7 o'clock, depending when the sun is.
I don't, listen, I don't want anybody to get bit. I don't want anybody to be afraid to go to the barn. I don't want anybody running over one in a track again.
He didn't enjoy it either, I'm sure.
But I don't want to kill them because I know they're good and I don't feel good about that. So what other option do we have besides killing them? Because they're gonna kill them.
Well, so what I can do is I can go back and ask for what options we have for deterring, but not extracting and killing.
Mhm.
I think we definitely look at sweeps on the barn, the tracks of the barn doors.
Yeah, I think all of the things that would help keep them out of areas, I mean,
Yeah.
not only deterrent in the sense of don't roost here, but physical barriers, like, I mean,
Yeah,
like when
like-
you have bird issues, you put the spike strips up,
Mhm.
you know, just saying, don't land here. So if we can make the barn really prickly and they don't want,
Yeah, I
to
mean,
be
like
there.
if they're up in the eaves, can we not make it like where they can't be up under the eaves?
That's some of the suggestions.
Okay.
With the,
With the proposal.
yeah, I mean, there's
with the-
gable, freeze,
with the
boarding,
screens.
wall
Yeah, put
gaps
screens.
and blah, blah,
Okay.
blah. So anyway, there's some stuff in this proposal that may be useful.
Mhm.
It would just, we'd have to sort of hunt and pick. It's hard to know exactly what some of these things really represent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I don't think we need the structural bat eviction because I don't think they're in the building. It's not like they're in like the attic where they need, it's not like a house where they have the attic.
So yeah, I'd be in favor of sweep installation and
Ceiling,
screens
yeah.
and anything.
Louver vent, screen guard, yeah.
um,
Or is
Typically,
it left open?
typically, if the weather's nice, then we'll open it up for people to go in. So,
But they're closed at night and locked up when the park's closed.
yes, yeah, we close it at night.
Okay, the structural bat eviction thing, I'm just reading this. It says, bat eviction tubes are like a one-way door which allows the bats to exit the structure but not regain entry. The bat release devices will be left in place for a 14-day period to allow the bat sufficient time to exit the structure. Once the eviction period has passed, the eviction tubes will be removed and a final inspection will be conducted to be sure bats have exited structure. So they're not talking.
They're not trapping. them.
They're not trapping them
That's what-
in that line item. The bat extraction is from the eave truss nooks as well as any other areas where bats are visibly detected and physically extracted, flushed from exterior structural features.
Now,
I do not like the extraction
no, but if you
line
go,
item, if that involves any,
go down to underneath the total to animal welfare. It does say irrespective to methods used to remove wildlife, this pest company
yes.
will trap, handle, and transport all animals in a safe, humane, and efficient manner.
As long as we can
Does
be
that-
sure
does
that
that
being
mean that they're not
humane does not mean
Killing,
humanely
kill,
euthanizing.
right,
Yeah, exactly. Because that can still be considered human.
correct. So can we get some clarification on that, Dirk?
Because the tube thing is implying that they are in the barn, which we don't think they are.
Right, like an
So
attic, like you want them
nothing-
out of your house, they just
They
can't
just
get back in,
They
right?
can't get back in. You do that with squirrels and stuff too. But. the
Like,
other
so I'm
one
okay
is-
with that if we had that problem.
But we don't
But
know.
if not,
exactly.
yeah, well, I don't know, who knows, yeah.
But the other one sounds like they will find them in the eaves and pull them out.
Right,
Yeah,
and
because
if,
they're right there.
and if that helps,
They fly away though?
Huh?
Wouldn't they just fly away?
not
They-
during the daytime,
no,
because they're
they-
kind of
yeah.
sleepy, they're kind of dopey.
Just like the one that got,
Okay, yep. You try to show me a
And
picture
they
of it
can't really
too.
fly during the
Rude.
day because the light interferes with everything, so.
Okay, so we don't want them killed, plain and simple, but we want them not there, so. And prevent them from coming back.
And if this poor person has to come and present this to us so that we can grill them directly.
So that you don't have to be the middleman.
Yes, you don't have to. be the
And
middleman.
hang your head and go, "Oh, God, this is so hard."
Is that really what you want?
No, no, they
We
don't have
don't
to.
need it, but if that would somehow simplify the process. I don't want
just
to
delays the
complicate the
process.
process.
I just find, dear, just find out that information. I don't want to kill the bats either. So I think we're all on the same page. If you can find out by next Tuesday, then maybe we can make a decision.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't think anybody wants to kill them.
Yeah, bats are good. Bats on building, not so good.
Yeah.
So, and you said
It's
there are
spooky
some bat
for
houses
Halloween
around
now.
Edward Park,
Yes.
so they have options. We just need to show them their options.
All right.
Here, this house
Here's
is
your
much
roommate.
nicer than.
Sorry, you like the big house, you can't have it.
No, yeah, you gotta go to the side house. Is that good?
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna send them an email right now and see how quickly I can get some feedback or return. So let's say, yes, we're gonna do everything and not harm the bats. Are you guys in favor of the proposal?
Yeah, like, I don't think the
Going
sh-
forward to
the sh-
council? on
Yeah,
the
I don't think the structural
8590?
bat eviction needs to happen because they're not in the building where it, like, so that line item can be removed. I feel like bat extraction can be removed unless, they're
That
not.
probably refers to outdoor as well, though. They're saying extracting even if they're up under the eaves.
Okay, but we don't want them harmed. So we need some clarification there. But the structural bat eviction, they're not in the they're not in the building.
No, but they are in the structure.
Yeah, but they can fly away.
Yeah.
And they can fly back. So this thing is like, if
Even
they're
if they
in.
got in the building, they can fly away. I mean, we've had birds, owls.
No, I know, but like, this is saying like, if they're in your attic, like, let's use a house, for example, like if they're in your attic, they're gonna find where they're coming in and they're gonna put this tube on there. So if they're in your attic, they can go out, and then when they want to try to come back in, they can't. So the barn doesn't need that because
It's open.
it's open and it's not, I mean, there's a zillion different ways that they can get in. So I don't know where exactly they would do this thing. So that doesn't need to happen.
I think it would be over the little.
But then they could fly in a window.
Yeah, I mean,
fly
they
in
can
the
still go
door.
in the barn.
Yeah,
But-
but like but this is for like a house. That's my
So
point.
yeah, as a money saving thing, I don't know that that's a necessary
That's my
line
point.
item because
Yes.
unlike a house, we're never buttoned up.
Correct.
Exactly.
It's the doors.
That's my
Doors and
point.
windows are always open.
They can do all of their structural work and seal the house, the barn from the bats, but then we're gonna open the doors. And
Right.
So it's,
That's my point.
it doesn't really make sense with the structure.
So I would have them remove that line item and find out how exactly they're gonna be extracted.
There.
And if there's any other I mean, if sealing isn't really going to do anything because this is an open structure, then maybe we don't seal anything. But if there's some kind of,
louver guard screens.
I was gonna- yeah, if there's-
Sitting.
like, if those things are going to help keep them out of places that are enclosed, then that's great. But if it's not going to keep them out because we leave the door open, then maybe that's not really useful. But I would be interested in any specific provisions that would deter them from roosting in those places,
Well,
like spike strips
I think
or
also lights.
electrical.
Yeah, lights are another way that I think you can deal with it too.
But we don't wanna have a lot of light
You know,
out
whether
there.
they come on intermittently or something like that.
Yeah, but that's really bad for all the other
Yeah.
wildlife and plants and everything.
We'd have to do some research or whatever to see if maybe a short-term application of that would be enough to
to get
disperse
them
them and then
And
knock
they
it
say
off.
they don't go.
Yeah.
All right. You good there?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna all go home and research bats.
We're gonna be bat behavior.
All right, next item is D4, which is discuss and consider adoption of the 2023 PRG board meeting schedule.
Okay, it's really fast. Next year, same as usual, first Tuesday of the month, 9 a.m. Only two exceptions. The last Tuesday in March, I have planned for a joint meeting with the council. You guys have a joint meeting with them every year, just to kind of talk about your agenda plan for the year, what things you want to cover, things like that.
Did you also adjust for when they fall, like on holidays? to
Yes, any
come over
holidays,
there?
holidays have been taken care of. The July meetings pushed forward, pushed to July 11th to accommodate the July 4th holiday. The April 4th meeting is planned to be a joint meeting between the council and the Marvin Day Planning Subcommittee, just to iron out any last minute details for Marvin Day. So your normal agenda for that day will be either deferred to March or to May.
got the list in here. Okay.
And you had the schedule in here, and this, I will be emailing this to you all, and you'll get calendar invites from me for all these dates as well.
So the only thing I'm seeing here that seems a little odd is the March 28th joint with council, and then the April 4th is,
April 4th is a normal.
yeah, but that's joint with council and Marvin Day Planning
Oh.
Subcommittee, which has got a lot going on, but those are like
A week.
a week apart.
Yeah,
Do you want to do the joint with council a week apart from another joint with council?
It's really the only day that you
Okay.
guys can do it.
Okay. If that's the case, then that's the case.
All right. Do I hear a motion on the table to adopt the 2023 board meeting schedule as proposed?
So moved.
Seconded?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is review of action items.
All right, so Derek will notify McAdams about our preference to, we'll notify McAdams about our parks being certified wildlife habitats. The board will work on a draft Village Hall landscape plan by December with Jennifer C.
Yes.
to lead that. Jen and Christina will work on a plant list for the dry stream bed, and Derek will let our preferences known to the bat people about saving the bats and updating that proposal. That's all I have. Kim, it's your favorite part.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm putting in the schedule.
Next
I missed it.
item is review of ongoing action item list.
I got it.
Hunter did finally talk to the swim club, and they do not want us parking on their property, even if it's only 3 or 4 cars. So it's a no from them for trail access. So we were able to take that one off. the
Okay.
list.
Nope, I'm good.
Sounds
All
good.
right. And board member comments. Jen? Anything?
No, I think I'm good.
Christina?
Glad to have you, Jennifer.
Yes,
Whatever we're
welcome,
gonna call you.
absolutely. Good on you.
JB.
JV.
Is that new?
I was gonna say, we'll fix something.
We'll figure out something.
Yes, all the Jennifers have been
I don't know if there's
designating
room
their.
for 2 JBs.
Right, I know. We were discussing that the other day.
Wow. I'm gonna keep.
Jennifers are used to doling out all of the nicknames.
Okay, I grew up, my last name was Houston, I was called Houston. Because usually they were for Jennifer, and every class I was in.
My daughter's 2nd grade class, 5 was the mothers in a class of 20.
Wow.
Wow,
1/4
that's crazy.
of the class, the mothers were named Jennifer. So this is why for business, I use Geneva,
That
which
is
is
a
a
smart
European
move.
version. And
Of
we don't have
Jennifer.
to get into the Jennas, Jennifers, because I was always Jennifer with 1 N, which is a really lengthy moniker and it doesn't roll off the tongue.
It does not, you're right. Oh, that's interesting.
Mhm. All right, so
Jen,
anyway,
any
that doesn't
formal
all need to be on
comments?
record, but okay.
Oh,
I'm
Welcome.
It
It
is
is
now.
now. It is
Thank
now.
you. No, I'm just glad to be here. I'm just gonna absorb everything and try to learn as much as I can.
And now you know we're pro-bat.
Yeah.
Yes, thank goodness. 'Cause-
Militantly pro-bat.
oh, yes. No, I agree. I am not in favor of killing any wildlife at all because they have a right to be here and exist just like we do. And I kind of feel like, you know what? You go outside, you're
There are
around the natural environment,
animals
and you
there.
assume the liability and risks of being in an uncontrolled space.
And it's good for you.
And it's healthy. We all grew
And
up
for our
in
environment.
uncontrolled spaces, did we not? In fact, I think I spent my entire childhood running around outside. My mother didn't even know where I was.
The magic of that era.
Without a helmet, without bug repellent, without a phone.
It's back in the days when this was your seatbelt.
That's right.
Yeah.
When basically the sun was like, okay, when the sun goes down, we go home.
I'm good as well. So do I hear a motion on the table to adjourn the Village of Marvin Parks, Recreation and Greenway meeting here on Tuesday, October 4th at 10:19 a.m.?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye. Oh, no, I don't vote, sorry.
Wow, we are good. Still knocked it out.
I forgot I don't vote.
Thanks, guys.
So